I was married once, then I married again, second time. First time was an arranged marriage. Second time, I say yes, I do. So the second time, it's my fault. I'm accountable for that. Have you been married? Have you been divorced? Have you just been common law and broke up? Well, I am gonna share with you a little story, and I'm gonna talk about a couple that is myself with my ex-husband. We have a daughter who is 11 years old, and we met. We were working together in this office, and then what happened? We start bringing each other lunch. At work. He was very kind, very nice guy. And then years, we didn't jump to anything. Years, I got to know him more at work. And then I remember, because I already have my 3 kids from my previous marriage, my arranged marriage. I remember that he was so kind to my kids, and then he even said, if you can't pick up, your daughter, I can pick her up. So I said, okay. So he started gaining my heart for a couple of years towards my kids. He was super awesome guy. And then we dated, and then it's like, okay, he asked me to marry him. So I say yes, even though he already asked my kids, my 3 kids, if it's okay for him to marry me. And then we got married, and I changed the date of our wedding 3 times. And then finally he put his foot down, and I said, okay, fine, we got married. And what I'm going with this is when you get together in a relationship, doesn't matter if it's the same sex or the opposite sex. So we fall in love with a person's behavior, how much money they make, their looks, like, whoa, their looks, look at his ass, look at her ass, oh wow, I'm a butt man or I'm a boob man, all of that. So we fall in love with the outside when we don't know yet what's the inside. And that behavior is very like charming. I was charmed to him, he was charmed to me. And then as soon as we got married, whoa, things shifted. He wasn't that kind of a kind man to my kids anymore. And then I'm thinking, I think I screw up here, right? And why he gained my heart is because he was so awesome to my kids. And I know this for a fact because I met so many moms. And if the guy comes and he's so amazing to her kids, we open up. We're a suck. We open up our heart, right, to that guy. So what happened was, yes, my ex-husband married me, I married him, but guess what? He married me, but not really. He married his mother and his sister. I married him, not really. I married my father. So here we are, him and I, and we got so many belief systems. We had so much hurt, pain from the past. And we speak, we make love, we work. And then here we are, when he says something, it triggered me. When he says something, it triggered him, like vice versa. And we went counseling after another counseling, male counselor, female counselor, another female counselor. It's like, okay. And then 2 counselors said to me, you know what, just leave him. And there was a part of me, it's like, well, I can't leave him because he is I just marry him. I'm not gonna leave him. We're gonna work through this together. And I'm not a quitter. Like, I'm gonna go through this. We're gonna work together. We're gonna blah blah blah. And then there's people who judge, right? I used to be in a fitness competition, like modeling competition. And when I introduced my ex-husband, my husband, people look at me and they look at him down. It's like, oh, I thought he would be a guy with big muscles. And it's like, no, right? So there was a lot of judgments, and it was very interesting, the comments that you hear from one side and other side. Like on his side, one of his best friend said, oh, Araceli, they call me Shelly. Shelly, she's a high maintenance. She's always dressed nice. She's gonna cost you money. And here is his friend talking about me when he doesn't know a shit about me. So I'm a nail technician. You always gonna see my nails done because I do my own nails. I do my own waxing. My hair, sometimes I do my own hair, or other time I go and see a hairdresser. So my ex-husband's friend, his point of view was that, wow, I'm too expensive. Well, if I was, it's none of your business, right? But I looked after myself, since I'm an esthetician. That's my background. And so, and when my friend sees my ex-husband, they say, they make comments about his physical look. So when him and I talk about it, we had that transparency. Then it was like he was coming, leeching out on me, or I was leeching out on him. So I'm not putting him on like he's a bad guy. I'm not saying that, or I'm a bad woman. I'm not saying that. I'm just telling you my experience with him and our experience with also friends. And so we finally, went from counselor to counselor to counselor. We ended up in a church. That was worse. That was a disaster. That's another day for me to share with you guys how a person in church has the authority, him and the wife, and be guiding couples like my partner and I and other couple. There were about 6 couples there that this couple with authority at church were guiding us. And then here this man with authority was sending naked pictures to my phone. He was doing, and he had a list of women who he was gonna go next. And so I ended up taking this to the authority. But to keep the story short, you guys, here we are, you go to a church, open heart for help. And my experience, I'm not saying all churches, okay? Don't get too sensitive. This specific church, we come there with our open heart. And I remember my ex-partner saying, about this man who had, as authority at the church, he was coaching couples and all of that. He said, oh yeah, I love him, better than my dad. Like he put his dad on the side. And to me, my ex-father-in-law, I think he was an amazing man. And so I was shocked. And so then this man from the church was taking my ex-husband lunchtime. So he was like learning, and he was asking me, when you're making love to your husband, what do you tell him? You see, he's like, that jerk had all this planned out. He's like, what do you tell him? And here I am, humble and, and I said, first of all, what do you want to know? And he's like, well, he says, because I want you and him to remarry again. And, so at least I have understanding when you guys make love together. What are your words? So here I am. I, went straight into the trap hole with that person. And, then he had a wife, of course, that she was also the authority in that group. And I can say that, and I'm proud of this, even though it was hard for me, I'm proud that I stopped this man from going after 2 other women he had in the list that he even told me. So when you go to church or when you go to our organization, don't think that everything is lovey-lovey. Be aware. Believe me, please be aware. So back with my ex-partner and I, we have a beautiful daughter, and she is 12 this year. And wow, she has her own voice. And going back with my ex-partner and I, when we got married, he said things trigger me. I said things to him, it triggered him. And it's like, obviously, things that his mother, his sisters said to him or whatever, I said things, even a word, and that was like that towards me. And if he said a word, whatever my dad said to me, in the past, I go like that to him too, even though we want to stay together, but it wasn't healthy. So through that experience, we saw, like I said, counselor after counselor, male, female counselor, church, and that was the end for me. And for him, he has his own life. I have my own. We already gone through 5-6 years this divorce thing. That's another story. And the thing is, what can he be? What can I be? What can we be together as parents for our daughter? And my other 3 kids, they're my kids. There was a lot of pain and hurt, and it's really sad that when we say, okay, I had enough, yes, there's always come to that day, it's enough. Nothing is permanent, nothing, only our soul is infinite. So how many times have you gone and seen a counselor? How many times you read many books, believe me, many books, and you still promise each other, like I did and he did, oh, I promise I won't say that again, or and then it's like the bullshit. He's allowed to say what he needed to say. It's just me not to get triggered, and vice versa. And so we start from scratch. Okay, you know how many times we start from the beginning, start from scratch, blah, 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 and then back again. Well, through that experience, it was not easy for me, neither for him, neither for our kids. I learned something, and it was showing to me. I speak to angels. It was just showing to me. It was like a movie, of my life. I was like, okay, and we all have black and white, all of us. Now we choose which one we want to feed. Another thing is, how many, if you want to call a mistake, how many experience you have that you have done to other person, and you're thinking you're not hurting the person when you actually are. And how many times another person hurt you, but they don't mean to. And then we take it like, well, you did this and you did that. Oh, fuck. It's like, oh my God, this is so much. So I am creating a Tantra online dating for couples and singles. The reason I'm also doing singles, and I give gratitude to my daughter, I'll give her the credit for that. My oldest daughter, who's 28, is, cleaning your old laundry, your dirty laundry before you jump into a relationship. That's like my ex and I, if we would have had healers, coaches to coach us and help us energetically, not just mentally, but energetically clean up his crap from his past, with his mom and his sister, and somebody helping me to clean up my crap with my dad, I know that my ex-husband and I, we still would be together, and we're not, right? So when our relationship went apart, I dedicated, I promised myself, my soul to free my soul from all those triggers. And yeah, it's not going to be overnight. I can tell you that. It's not going to be overnight. And it's like, I clear something shows up. I clear something, it's like, oh, wow. And so the more I've been clearing, and even if my ex comes and send a text, an example, I say, hey, there was no attitude. There was, I was just sharing, I don't understand what you're saying. And, and then he clarifies back to me. That is cool. But it's like, the more work I've been doing, shifting, changing the molecules and working within me and not blaming, it's beautiful because I feel more at peace. And if he chooses to do whatever, that's his thing. My well-being, my health is number one. And I have a mission this earth. And same thing, like whatever is contribution consciously to our daughter, I'm there. I do the best I can. I have business, I'm also studying, becoming a certified practitioner for sound healing and other stuff. So I'm doing this, doing that, right? Multitasking, and I'm loving it. And at the same time, I honor myself. It's like, okay, like an example today, there was a message from him and our daughter and myself. So we have a group message, the three of us, and she was speaking her voice. And then I thought, okay, I'm sure he's gonna blame me, because he used to blame me. He's gonna think I'm brainwashing her. And it's like, and then I said, hold on here. That was the old me, okay? Then I was like, I focused on my breath. It's like, okay, I am cool. And I said to myself, and I use this tool, everything is gonna be fine. Everything's gonna be fine for the highest good of all. And if he chooses to blame me, whoever, I can't stop him, and he can't stop me if I choose to blame. So it's like, I noticed for 5 years that I went really deep inside with me, the blaming, the victim, all of that is like, shit, it's a pile of mud with pigs. And I said to myself, I'm gonna jump off the mud with the pigs, and I'm gonna observe. And I actually observe, and I watch, without judging, without getting upset, just looking at it. And then it's like, And then what was interesting is I'm the observer, and it's like, shit, I shouldn't have done that. I could have done this or could have done that. But at that moment, I didn't think about it, because our emotion takes over. And this 5 years of doing my own work have brought me so much joy that I have contributed to couples from divorcing. I have contributed couples from, you can't see my child, and no, you can't, like all of that. I have contributed to families, and that is awesome. It was not easy for me, I can tell you that. You sometimes have to go through your own shit so that you become a contribution to other people. And the hardest part was what I decided, because while I was doing even my yoga, my yoga teacher training and all of that, I was working inside me, and I said to myself, okay, this friend, who's no longer a friend of mine, said to me, go after every penny of him, blah, blah, blah. Make sure that you don't leave him no money. This is a friend telling me that. I know she's taking my side and telling me this, but then it's like, when I look at him, like, this is the father of my daughter. Dude, I want to do that. And karma, so every shit I have done, I'm like really destroying and creating it from the collectiveness, so it doesn't continue flowing around in this earth, right? So I'm responsible. You have a responsibility. I have a responsibility. So when this friend said to me, just, make him pay, la, 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 la. And I was like, no. And then she called me the word stupid. You're stupid, she says, because you can go after this, after this, and make sure he pays you child support, spousal support, la, la, la. Well, you know what? We divorced. We just got our papers here a month ago. I didn't ask for spousal support, and it's fine. But you know what? If that piece that is in here is worth more than money, and I want to go to sleep in peace. And I have worked with people with cancer that I witnessed when they passed away on their bed, or they're really, really, really sick, just about to go, and they said, all I wanted was love. All I wanted was this. And so I witnessed all of that, and it's like, whoa. So for me, it's like, you know what? When I die, when he died, when we all individually, it's our turn, you are going to come up with, I call it a mirror, which is, I have a mirror here, mirror, that is going to be shining right here, and it's going to show the good, the bad, and the ugly, and regrets. So I have a responsibility to get rid of the distractors. I call it distractor implant, anger, resentment, and all of that. And again, it was not easy. It's not easy. And the cool thing is, I don't wish him anything good, bad, or ugly. I just know and acknowledge that he's the father of my daughter. And If there is any people out there, male, like mom or dad, that you do not want your daughter or your son to go and see the mom or not to go and see the dad, please don't do that. Remember when you made that child, remember you both share a bed, you guys share fluid. Remember that. And even if you had a child just to save the marriage or that relationship, please do not put the kids through that. With my ex-partner, I said that to him, you're always going to be Alejandra's dad. And I said that to Alejandra, mommy and daddy, you are our number one. It doesn't matter if daddy has a girlfriend or I have a boyfriend. It doesn't matter. You are our number one, you know. And for me, it's like bringing her consciousness, bringing her, you know, the awareness about life, and then she decide. But it's like sharing my own experience, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and also just let her choose, and not to tell her to shut up. Because when I was young, my parents says, be quiet, you don't know nothing. And it's like, and I had a voice, and I'm very intuitive, and I was sharing, and when I shared, I got in trouble. And then a week later, what I said, it happened. So it's one of those gifts my grandmother helped me. But I want to stay with the divorce and the separation, all of that. Let's not get the kids to pay for our mistakes, for our fucked up relationship, you know, that was not successful. And don't feel ashamed. I remember when, you know, when my partner and I went apart, actually, I moved out of the house. I was like, wow. And I lost some friends, you know, and there's other friends that they were coming just to kind of hear my point of view so they can go and tell him. There is new friends also I have, which is awesome. And he also have new friends. He made new friends through all this, right? And karma, I know karma exists, because when him and I, the first year and a half, we were getting along, him and I, and then he got involved with this family, that this family started brainwashing him and, yeah, you know, go after her, la, 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 right? And here I have this friend telling me to go after my ex, but I didn't. So imagine that. And so it's very interesting world, you guys. So be aware who you share your things with. And if they say to you, do this to her, do this to him, remember, you're the one doing that. Are you peace in your heart? Because it could feel good at that moment. And the ego, you know, so you don't look bad, you don't look weak. That means you're judging you. Because I don't want my girlfriend to, you know, like blah, 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 right? And then I'm sure he did things so his friends, this couple that have 2 kids, don't think that, you know, my ex-husband is weak. Like I said, we went apart and we were still talking to each other, everything. We even celebrate our daughter's birthday together, etc. But then, you know, he heard more of this family, this couple. And sometimes those couples, they have their own shit that they don't want to deal with it. What they do, I can tell you what they do. They focus on other people's life so they don't look at themselves. So it's really good to look at the self first. And that friend I had that she was telling me to go after my ex-husband and everything, she's no longer my friend. She's not in my life. So just remember that, you know, my friend was not in bed with my husband and I when we were making out. And the friends, that couple that he made friends with, which is happened to be a coworker, he did not come to our bed and make love with us. So, and nobody was there when we made our daughter together. So we have to be really accountable with the self and be at peace, because something that you could do to hurt somebody, it always come back to you sooner or later, you know, and it's in the collectiveness. And also when you wish somebody bad, it will come back to you. So wish somebody good, even if they don't receive it, it's okay. It's okay. You know, you did the best you can. with all this, that I'm sharing with you about the church and seeing counselor after counselor, I would have loved for somebody, any of those counselors, that could have done energy work to clear the energies, to working on past life, to help us to remove energetically too those triggers. And I know for a fact that if we would have found a counselor, somebody to help us to do that, I know him and we still be together. And it is what it is now. And so I'm moving forward with contributing to many marriages or relationships, same sex or opposite sex, for them to have it more with consciousness, more with ease, and of course, removing energetically and clearing and shifting those molecules so they don't have those triggers, so there is less conflict, and grow together and create together. And that is amazing. That is a true conscious relationship. And I went through all my crap, and I'm grateful that I'm in an awesome relationship after my ex. I look at it this way, Celine Dion with her partner, how he believed on her gifts and he did whatever he can, and they created a family, but they both were creating and they both respected each other's beings. They both respected each other, like, oh, that her voice is a gift, right? And his gift was management, business stuff, and that is awesome. So because I remember when my ex and we came together, I was into competition, wearing bathing suit, not bodybuilder, was what is it called, fitness. So I go and I compete on the stage, etc. And then my ex-partner went and played pool at night, and I remember I stopped competing. I won't go any more of that because comment doesn't matter. And then he stopped going to his playing pool table, and it's like, wow. So it's kind of, and I used to work out, and he even said to me, oh, you're addicted to working out. I loved it. And then I stopped, and then he likes to go fishing, and then he stopped. So you see how we are divorcing ourselves. So that is huge mistake. So when you get into a relationship, or if you are already in a relationship, go back to what you really enjoy, and then continue that in your relationship. And that trust has to be there, and that respect and that transparency. And don't divorce yourself, because for me, working out was my and then I was coming to him, I was so more energized, more happy, and my tank was full. Why? Because I filled it up, and his tank was full because he filled it up himself. And now 2 tanks full, whoa, it would be like magical. But no, we did the opposite. Divorce himself, divorce herself. Wow, now we got 2 fucked up beings that, what are we going to do, right? And then, oh, he says this and she said that, right? The triggers. So please check our website, www.heavenlywarrior.net or .ca. You will find there more details about this Tantra online that I'm doing. And it's gonna be for singles, so start removing your crap before you meet that person. And it's not just like the looks or how much money he or she makes, it's or the behavior. It's more than that. It's like, okay, this triggered me, let's clear this, or I had this trauma in the past, let's clear this. And same thing with the other person who's single. So then together, right, and avoid future breakups. It's not easy, and like I said, nothing is permanent, only our infinite being, our soul. Anything else, it's nothing permanent, really. We come to this earth and learn what we need to learn and become more conscious, more aware, and blah blah blah, and then and contribute back to the world. That's my belief system, you guys. That's me, my point of view. And through that experience I had with my ex, I am contributing more and more and more to many relationships. So I thank my ex, and I thank myself. And of course, all it started it from, all those belief system and triggers that our parents put on us. And I'm grateful to my parents. I'm grateful to his parents, to his sister. And I continue moving forward. And it doesn't mean that, I'm good, I'm not gonna do anything else. No, there is more shit coming out, you guys. More shit. So for me, like I said, I just want to go to bed at peace and not feeling like, I did this to him to get back to him, or I listened to my friend, so I'm gonna go after my ex. Really, it's almost like taking a gun, and my friend is saying to me, take a gun and do this to him. Go shoot him, but we're not shooting, right? It's like, go after every penny. And then here is my ex listening to his friends who are already married and telling him, go after her. So they're giving him the gun to come after me. He's not shooting me neither, but I'm just giving you an example. It's like, well, he's creating more stress in my life or in our life, actually in our daughter. So imagine that. So that's what I said to that called so friend. I said, thank you for your opinion. It's not really from the heart. And here I am working on my own. If I would have chosen to listen to the friend, I would be adding more to my pile and then start working, right? Working on that, and then feeling guilty or maybe not guilty, because sometimes people don't acknowledge their screw up. So I'm grateful I broke up with the girlfriend and I follow my heart, and he's there, I am here, we have a daughter. Our focus is her well-being, and just consciousness, and really get her to a place where she can make her own decisions and not being passive and not being like, oops, I can't speak. No. So please don't do that to your kids. Allow them to speak, because later on, that blocks the throat chakra and the power chakra and even the creativity chakra. So please be aware of that. And again, I invite you, if you have an awesome relationship, you guys, I'm sure you want to add more to it, because it's amazing. I have this couple that I helped, and I gave them a home play. And so when one of the home play was this, when you go home, and they work out of town together. So when you go home, I said, when you guys get together, I said, you give him, and I give the list, and then next day or 2 days later is her turn to receive, and then he gives her. So what was interesting is, I'm going to go with male and female. When the male was gifting to the female goddess, she could not receive it. She said, she was like making sound, she says, I was faking orgasm. She was faking orgasm. She said, oh no, he's gonna think, like I smell down there, or that I gained too much weight. And her mind was going crazy, and he was doing his thing, right? No penetration. And I'm not gonna go in detail here. No penetration, right? That was the homework, no penetration. And he was doing his part. And she was like, and then she just pushed him off. She's like, I can't do it, right? And the thing is to break through that. And of course, respect, so she stopped and said, hey, give me a little bit, 5 minutes break, and da-da-da. And they talk about it, right? How she was feeling, blah, blah, blah. So that was her experience. So she did not receive him. And then when it was his turn, so here she is, mothers, we breastfeed our kids, where a lot of us moms want to nurture, right? So she's ready to nurture her man. And this guy was like, whoa, I'm not going to receive her. And he even said that. It's like, I come first before her. because, and I said, like one of the question is like, I can't go too much in detail here, you guys, but it was interesting. And then he said, well, I'm the man in the house, I'm the strong one, and I have to provide for the family. And when I want, I would like to have sex with my wife, I'll just go and do it. And when she wanted, he was not there. So there was that conflict. And through reading their energy field and reading their past lives, and also doing a family constellation, other things, like I include about 10 different things. Wow, there was a lot of healing. And now this couple is are like wow, delicious to each other. And they both said thank you, because they were working so hard. They were working far away from each other, and they get together and then go again to work, right? Working out of town. And they say I saved their marriage. Actually, they saved it. I was just guiding them. I say vacuum cleaner. I was the vacuum cleaner, sucking all of that and dumping it out on the fire. And that helped, playing with the molecules and shifting all those energies, so they can see like, hey, because for me, when my ex says something to me, I was like, who am I being? Right? And it's like, oops, my mom, or oops, my dad, or oops, right? And it's like, okay, how old am I being? Even though I was like in my 40, 41, whatever, and even younger than that, it was like when I asked that question, who am I being? Or how old am I being right now? It was like, take me back to a 7-year-old. Or for him, and I said to him, you're acting like a 7-year-old now. So this is what I said to him. You're acting like 7-year-old now. And then when I asked myself, how old am I being? I was acting 7-year-old. So there's 2 adults at fighting like 7-year-old, having temper tantrum. So that's where we lack in our relationship, that healing, the energy, my gosh. Instead of just going to see a counselor and listen to us and say, when Aracheli says this, how does that make you feel? Blah, blah, blah. And he says, oh, when she says this, she makes me feel blah, blah, blah. And then vice versa. When he says this, he makes me feel blah, blah, blah. And guess what are we doing there? We're fucking locking it in again, back in us. So I said, fuck that shit now. Like really, I'm not gonna, even with, I'm in a relationship, and he said that to me. Oh, Aracheli, when you say this, you make me feel. I'm like, stop right there. I said, And so I share what I know. And so we talk about it. And I said, please, let's just, because then you want to lock it in. Even though I said a word and that trigger you, and you say, oh, Aracheli, when you say that, you make me feel blah, blah. You're locking it back deeper and deeper in your field, in your body. And it's like, I said, fuck no, right? So it's like, remove that. Like, I'm here to clear those energies that it's not like, it's like a wall, between that relationship and that energy between it. Is that you guys want to be together, but then you can't be together because all of this wounded past crap and, triggers, and even family lineage triggers that it doesn't belong to us at all. So that's where I come in and I clear all of that. And I give gratitude to my ex for that. I am grateful for that. And again, for our daughter. So you guys have a magical 2022. And I'm looking forward to meet you online. Either if you're single or in a relationship. We're going to have a lot of fun, a lot of healing, a lot of healing. And I'm going to say sensualness, and be true to the self and heal the self, and with the partner also. And if you're single right now and going through, like 5 months from now, you meet someone, then bring the person. Then I would say to you, hey, let's switch you from the single, subscription. We're going to switch it to the, relationship couple subscription. Have a magical 2022. Namaste.